Hello again, emerging cricket fans. Another bumper show this week, but before we jump in, a shout out to our latest patron, Milind Panya. Thank you so much for joining the EC movement. From as little as $2 US a month as a patron, you can access bonus content at Emerging Cricket and have a say on our show's direction. To sign up, log on to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Emerging Cricket. On today's show, we wrap news from around the world and we sit down with Fabio Marabini in Italy. So stick around. Hello and welcome to another Emerging Cricket podcast online and on Sport FM in Perth. I'm Daniel Beswick. I'll be joined by Tim Cutler and Nick Skinner when we sit down with Fabio Marabini from Italy. But first, some news from around the world. Nigeria has appointed former Sri Lankan batsman Asanka Gurusinha in a dual head coach and high performance director role. A level 3 coach, Gurusinha has been a selector and manager of the Sri Lankan men's team and a consultant of Cricket Australia. Nigeria appeared in both the Under-19 World Cup early in the year and in last year's men's T20 World Cup qualifier. The Netherlands' home ODI World Cup Super League series against England in May 2021 has been postponed to May 2022. The ongoing pandemic and the prospect of playing international matches with few or no spectators were cited as the reasons for moving the matches back 12 months. The Netherlands' last ODI against England was at the 2011 World Cup in Nagpur, when the English chased down a target of 293 with 8 balls remaining. Fairbreak Global has announced a world-first invitational women's cricket tournament penciled in for January 2022, held in Hong Kong, and in conjunction with Hong Kong Cricket, the T20 tournament will consist of 6 teams of players recruited from all over the cricket world. And finally, the Kolkata Knight Riders have invested in USA's Major League Cricket. With more, here's Nate Hayes.
Big news continues from the United States around Major League Cricket as USA Cricket announced a deal between the MLC and Shah Rukh Khan's KKR empire. The Knight Riders Group, majority owned by Shah Rukh Khan's Red Chillies Entertainment Group, will contribute financial investment in franchise cricket expertise as they partner with American Cricket Enterprises to plan the rollout of Major League Cricket. Khan's conglomerate will assume control of one of the 6 MLC franchises. USA fast bowler Ali Khan made history when he joined the Kolkata Knight Riders for the 2020 IPL. Ali Khan has played a crucial role in the success of the Knight Riders CPL franchise, helping the team to 2 championships in the past 3 seasons. While Shah Rukh Khan's involvement will certainly bring credibility to the embryonic Major League Cricket throughout the South Asian diaspora, KKR and Chili Pepper CEO Venki Mysore expressed to Emerging Cricket the importance of connecting with local American sports lovers at large, and expressed confidence in the key people involved with the league. Mysore also confirmed to ESPN Cricket Info that the contingency plan for MLC venues includes current grounds in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Morrisville, North Carolina, as well as the recently announced new stadium in Dallas. Visit emergingcricket.com to read more.
That's all the news in the emerging game this week. Coming up, we speak to Fabio Marabini in Italy.
Hi, this is Dutch fast bowler Paul van Meekeren, and you're listening to the Emerging Cricket Podcast.
Once again here on the Emerging Cricket Podcast, we're lucky enough to welcome another guest on the show. The customary welcome, boys. Ooh. We go to Italy today. Fabio Marabini, the president of the Italian Cricket Federation. Il Presidente, welcome to the show.
Hello. Say very, very, very thank you from my side and from the Italian Cricket Board as well. We have a party this week because we are now 40 years old.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
The nation is now 40 years old and we will have a long year. Of course, it's impossible at the moment to have parties here. And at the moment, you're not allowed to have more than 6 people in the same room. But many, many thanks. Really, it's a pleasure for me, and it's amazing what you're doing, guys, down under. Because I know it's tough to talk about the dark side of cricket.
There are some positive stories.
I mean, being always the underdogs for any kind of fight that we do for acknowledgement of cricket being the same in Italy, in Spain, in France, in Germany, as well as other members with more financial availability, more cricket background, more cricket facilities. It's always difficult to talk about. I will not say difficult because it's not difficult for staff, but it's not always welcome when it comes to discuss at certain levels. So for me, it's really a pleasure to have this possibility to talk with you.
Yeah, it's been 40 years of the governing body, but if you go back in terms of Italian cricket history, it goes back a very, very long time.
Nelson arranged the first match here in the late 18th century, I guess, in Naples. Crews of his a couple of ships, I think they arranged a cricket meeting there. There still was enough room in Naples to play cricket. Now there's
street cricket. Maybe.
Yeah.
They do a lot. Now Naples is a raising part in our country. I would say as an area we have very much interest down there. There's a strong Sri Lankan community, but generally speaking, big towns to follow clusters where there's enough cricket happening. Of course, we have a lot of cricket, and one of the aims of our board at the moment is put flags around Italy, not just where it's always been played, like say Rome, Milan, Bologna. We have to spread our brand as Cricket Italy, and make some more engagement, some more involvement in schools and so on. So we are trying to expand our activities. Yes, 40 years is a long story. I've been taking part only the last 27.
Just a short innings there.
I can tell you, there's still a long way to go for us. I think we still have a lot of difficulties in terms of facilities. That's the part of the job that has to be done at the moment the most, I would say.
So we are very used to getting English and Australian accents on this podcast of people around the world growing the game. But I think it's fair to say that you come to us with an Italian accent. Tell me how you got involved in cricket. You've said you've been involved for almost 3 decades, and business, salesman. You're not making your money out of cricket. You're volunteering your time to cricket. But how did you come to love this game and get involved?
I live in Bergamo. The name itself in German means Bergheim, so the home of the mountains. And I've always been skiing since I was 2 years old. And I was just finished with my ski instructor degree, let's say. And I'm ski instructor actually and a snowboard instructor. I've been competing a little bit to both. And I was simply looking for something to do in summertime, and then a couple of friends came. One is half English, the mother is from Halifax. Hey, why don't you come? We just founded a cricket club. Cricket? Really? I barely had seen playing cricket on the television, I think a couple of times, maybe not more, maybe a couple of films. And I think it was a journey that started with, I'd say, some short coaching, some common play, okay, have a bat, okay, have a ball. And I got a catch on my first cricket match. And unfortunately, the batsman was at the moment maybe the highest scorer, or he's still probably the record holder of one day cricket here in Italy. And I say, okay, I got him. Fantastic. So it was a bit of misunderstanding of my role into cricket at the moment. I was actually null. But I enjoyed the journey very much. I mean, I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoyed the curry lunch. I enjoyed the beers. I enjoyed the tea. I enjoyed the cakes from the ladies around, and I enjoyed the atmosphere actually. So I loved it a lot. I loved the game because I recognized immediately what meant really fair play. And it's one of the things I very much insist still nowadays when I'm trying to explain into interviews the importance of cricket. If you look at the Commonwealth, as a nations as a association, or countries association, it's you have common rules.
Well, we have the Queen.
Yeah, of course, not just. I mean, rules are very clear, and everybody endorses them. And cricket is the same. If you look at other sports, everybody has his own application of rules. In cricket, is not the same. Cricket represents a fantastic picture of an ideal world. Into my, let's say, the picture I have is that cricket is the ideal place where everybody has its own possibility. And if you stick to the rules, you always get a reward. You always enjoy the game. And this applies to life. And for cricket is a fantastic starting point when you need to explain it to kids, because you might not be the biggest or the tallest or the strongest, but you still have your opportunities. You have guys like Sachin Tendulkar, which is not the tallest guy, but he's been a fantastic batsman. You have Ranatunga. You've had not the fittest.
Fond of a Mars bar.
There are many. If I look at certain Afghan batsmen recently, or when English bowlers or rounders, I'm amazed with what they can do. And as I said, cricket gives everybody a chance, a fair chance. And the rules are very clear to everybody. Of course, the things like Mancat that I don't like.
Oh,
We'll get to that. Yeah.
But generally speaking, I would say we have a fantastic common background when it comes to rules. So that's why I love it so much. I was simply looking for some summertime fun and fitness, let's say, because I was looking for May, June, July sports outside, and tennis was an option. I have a ground in my house in the mountain, but you get bored soon when you have it too much when you were a kid. And so cricket was something new. I loved it. Of course, I'm not a champ, but I improved. And what I loved it was the possibility to start when I was almost 25, and I still had the chance when I was 40 to improve. You know, when you're a sportsman, as a ski instructor, I think I have enough control of my body. And so when you understand technique and so on, it becomes more interesting.
So I feel like you should be at the front of a car with a motorcade. What does Il Presidente do in Italy? Tell me what a normal day, a normal week, what's on your mind? What are you getting involved in?
The president of the Italian Cricket Board or Fabio Marabini? Because Fabio Marabini has unfortunately 24 hours, and I trade still for oil and gas, naval vessels, cruise liners. I work with 20 different companies and so on. That's the tough part of my life. And the fun part is trying to develop cricket here. I don't think about the chairman of Italian cricket as just the president of the federation, but as the representative of the game in Italy. I might be here the smallest of the federation in the Italian Olympic Committee, but I'm still the representative of the second biggest sport around the world. So I'm trying to, let's say, understand the way to make some more brand awareness, as I said. And brand awareness means explaining people that modern pentathlon has not the same followers as cricket has.
I don't mind the pentathlon, actually. It's one of those ones that you watch every 4 years. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's nice.
That'll be cricket for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
I might just watch. Might just watch cricket these Olympics, and yeah, my kids are able to play it.
But I don't mind pentathlon at all. But
It's no cricket, that's for sure.
of course, that cricket doesn't belong to our culture here. So I'm trying to explain more what cricket is around the world. I'm trying to understand more what I can do for cricket in Italy and worldwide. In Italy, the president does a lot of marketing job, because it's of course part of my real career, and I understand a little bit of marketing dynamics. So I've been trying to improve a lot that part of the federation, which was almost non-existing. That's why we've also tried to not just to work on the social media part, which is more or less necessary today, but on the other hand, we have also chosen to invest into promotion cricket, as somebody calls it, which is T10 games with Daniel Weston. Then the second big deal for us at the moment has been finding an agreement with a sports bank. Credito Sportivo is a bank, a governmental bank, which job is to finance investments for federations who want to develop certain specific projects, basically infrastructures. And we have a 6 million credit line that's been part of the job of the first part of the year. And this credit line allows us now to invest in facilities with, let's say, a bit of relax. We know we can spend money which we don't yet have in our pocket, but we have potentially in the budget divided by the number of years you choose to give the money back. So if I have, say, projects for a couple of millions, let's say at the moment, and I say, okay, I don't have 2 millions from ICC or from the Italian Olympic Committee at the moment, but I will get 2 millions in the next 10 years. So why not? Trying to force a little bit the pace on facilities. And that's, of course, I'm an architect, and the degree doesn't work for my business life, but works more for the cricket facilities. At least I understand what we are talking about. Talk about square meters and so on.
Bet you didn't know you'd be talking about building cricket grounds when you were, I don't know, you probably, it sounds like, I sometimes feel like I've lived sort of 3 or 4 lives in the almost 40 years that I've got to, but it sounds like you've piled a few more on top of that from being a ski instructor, architect, deal oil and gas, and yeah, hopefully building cricket grounds in Italy. But anyway, I'll let.
And then the last part of is administration to run cricket properly. We've done recently, we're going to approve the ethics policy tomorrow, and that's a small step only, but we have changed the governance 1.5 years ago. We have now rules in place. We have transformed a so-called family business into a real company, and that's been amazing what we've done. We also managed to spend the money in promotion in ladies cricket. I am very big fan of ladies cricket because I think it's the best tool at the moment we have.
You mentioned the ECL and Dan Weston's vision there, and also the work that Italian Cricket TV's done, where the number of viewers around Italy and parts of Europe have been astronomical, especially over the last 12 months to 2 years. What's your relationship with someone like Weston and the ECL and their idea of cricket and building the game in continental Europe?
Dan is a very good friend for me, and he loves Italy because he's in Germany, so he's unlucky. But he can move from Munich to Garda Lake in a few hours. drive, and we can share a beer or a pizza somewhere and share ideas. We share part of the vision, of course. He's an investor, so you have to understand the concept behind his business plan. And of course, you cannot do that unless you are in business somewhere else. I appreciate a lot what he's doing, and I understand his dynamics. Who's telling T10 is not cricket? People would have said the same 20 years ago about T20, and would have said the same 60 years ago about ODIs and so on. I think it's not the kind of cricket that everybody loves, but it's a kind of cricket that everybody enjoys, even watching. I mean, even aristocrats. We have a couple here as well, and I think that in terms of marketing, this kind of product is amazing. What you can see in 1.5 hours is rarely seen from other sports. It's pure action. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, might be no. I love test match. I've never been a big fan of boring test matches, but I understand there's a kind of test match who is thrilling even when you're seeing 20 dots. So I'm not saying that that's the future of cricket. That's the future of marketing cricket around Europe, for sure, maybe around the world. And it works. We are able to do numbers because when you do in a single day 150,000 viewers on YouTube, and I've been told 1.5 million per day on FunCode in India, it's also a marketing tool with sponsors. When you're discussing with potential sponsor, you're going to talk to big companies. You're playing a different game. And that's why also we also try to explain more what's cricket worldwide than what's cricket in Italy only, because it doesn't work for me the maybe 1,000, 2,000 viewers which I can achieve in Italy. Although Italy is the biggest producer of cricket content in Facebook around Europe. It was an amazing thing which I've been discovering a few weeks ago, talking about a potential new project for cricket in Europe, which will be huge. I cannot disclose any details at the moment, but there will be more money and more cricket for everybody, and that's of course important for us as well.
And we've seen the European Club Tournament going on, and the European Cricket Series, which is a sort of a travelling circus model that Western's pushing with local teams in a bunch of different tournaments. How does that fit in to the regular club scene in Italy?
They loved it a lot because that's all they want. Play cricket, have fun, and say, "Hey, mama, I'm on television," which is important too, because they can now say, "Hey." Some of them are here, but they have very modest lives. They are here for working. They are sustaining their families, maybe back in Bangladesh or India or Pakistan with their jobs here. And they just go work. They quite don't have any time for training. Practice is, I would say, not unknown, but it's very difficult, especially in wintertime. But having the possibility to show maybe the boss, "Hey, take a look, I'm on YouTube this week," that changed their mindset. They loved, we've been investing quite a lot of money on that. And the reward has been a very, very positive feedback. We had a very good couple of tournaments. I would say technically it was good cricket. Compared with what you can see around in Europe at the moment, I think technically it was among the best 2-3. I've been there at the ground and seen one team chasing 150, and they managed with 2 balls to spare. And I've seen nobody has played T10 cricket here. They play table, of course, which is another kind of cricket. So I would say I've seen people starting playing T10 with a T20 mindset and adapting their game to the T10 format, starting bowling certain lines, starting betting with a certain kind of aggression. Because the first games, they were a low 100, let's say 100, 100 and something. And in the last game, they were all above 130 or 140. The teams improved a lot during the tournaments. So it was a lot of fun for them and for us as well watching.
Yeah, so Fabio, one of the interesting things that I've found about Dan Weston's approach is that he's focusing on getting a sustainable local club scene and then building up rather than the older model of sort of the ICC coming in and going from the top down. So how do you fit those two together in your approach to administration in Italy?
When you give clubs a visible and touchable target and not just the hope but the possibility to raise some money, that makes much more than all the involvement policies that a board can put in place. Because we have people here playing table tournaments and bidding for the place there. They are paying a subscription fee, and the one who wins takes the money, and that's paying a lot for the people who's organizing the tournaments, because they got huge crowds at the tournaments. Although the quality of cricket is not, of course, the one you have at Lord's, but they have fun, which I respect a lot, because it's a pretty different environment, which is very difficult to understand and to agree with for aristocrats. But still, that's cricket as well, and I have to take care, because if I have 100 hardball players and 15,000 softball or table players, I have to take care of them as well. And ICC rewards me for them as well. And so we need to respect this approach. We need to understand that it's not a matter of take the money, go into the school, do some coaching and bring them to the ground. The players are already there. The numbers are already there. If you consider in Italy, we have more or less 1 million people from Asian heritage. 50% of them already has a passport, and 50% will hold a passport in the next maybe 4 to 5 years, because they've been there for already 4 to 5 years. So they can ask citizenship in 10 years. Consider maybe 5% want to play cricket, 10% have some interest in cricket, would love to play a game from time to time. That makes 100,000, far more than many other sports already have here in Italy. And I think that then you have to add a fan base, which is not, of course, only the Asians. There's a lot of people who knows cricket already, because they've been studying in UK, or they have been traveling, they have been working abroad. So why not? It's simply a different way to looking at the medals. The medals are always two sides. We've been always looking one side, forgetting that there's the opposite. And you can raise questions if it's the correct approach, but the numbers don't lie. Of course, maybe not at the moment is not cost effective or sustainable, and it works because somebody has put the money in. But in the long term, it will work. Daniel's idea is to make it work in 2 to 3 years, and at the moment, it's working already. If it goes then to the Olympics, who knows? It might boom immediately.
It's interesting though, yeah, the advent of streaming and then, by proxy, advertising becomes a little bit easier. And not only is it developing, say, Italian cricket or German cricket, the European region in general is probably, we hate the term fastest growing, but it seems like the European region, in terms of cricket and its publicity, has improved out of sight. And then when you are playing against other opposition in Europe, in European qualifiers, for example, because that competition is so strong, the development of everyone is therefore brought up to another level. So what I wanted to kind of ask from all of this is that, is Europe, because of, the Western vision and the stuff that you guys are doing as well, do you think that Europe is probably the next potential region to boom in international cricket?
I can tell you following. If you think that 20 years ago, nobody was caring for Chinese football or football in the Arabic countries, nobody would have said, okay, players like Beckham will go to the USA and play football there. You can understand what will happen in cricket in the next 20 years. Because I think the IPL, if cricket goes to the Olympics, will be really global, and by then the IPL could become easily, in terms of returns, something similar to the Champions League in football. And that will create much more brand awareness for cricket, and that will allow European cricket to grow, will allow Asian cricket to grow. I don't mean Pakistan or India or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka based. I mean Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Hong Kong, China, and so on, and Japan, of course. And then there will be USA. And so it will be interesting to see what will go. In some terms, I think you need to look also at another aspect. Italy is a G8 country. Germany is a G8 country, so economical power. France is a G8 country. Holland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, Austria, Spain, they are all powerful in terms of money, in terms of GDP per capita. So I'm not saying that we know what to do with money, because of course we often do the wrong things, especially in Italy. But in some way, it will be interesting to see people saying, hello, here's our new market. You've seen what's happened with Rugby Italy. 30 years ago, rugby in Italy was almost zero, and we were a not even decent country. And there have been some believers, most probably like me, saying, hey, let's try to invest well-spent money and well-spent time in develop this thing. And now I see, at least economically, it works. The squad is still rubbish, but we still lose maybe 50-0 with Australia or with the All Blacks, but we don't care. We have the money at least, and rugby is very big at the moment here in Italy. They can work with schools and so on. Of course, there's more brand awareness, and that's part of the business, of course. I think Europe will be big because the numbers economically are there much more than somewhere else. Of course, we lack some culture, but I think that comes with the show. Daniel Weston has provided some show. I think T20 can provide some show as well. The 100 can provide some show. The franchise-based leagues that will show up sooner or later will provide some show. And there will be some cricket connected to country competitions that will show up as well. If we were able to find a way to show cricket matches more frequently, not just through web streamings, and that can happen, and maybe, of course, with the Olympics in a few years. But I think that ICC can still implement these policies to promote cricket outside of 100% cricket countries. I still hope that the rights holders understand that if they want to make the game very, very big worldwide, we still need to go away from satellite for center games. At least that still happens with football. Even Champions League, I've been watching a Champions League game this evening, and it was for free.
What was the Champions League game on tonight? Was that the Atalanta game?
Unfortunately, we 1-1, but we still have double chance in Amsterdam in 1 week.
To bring it back to cricket and the football ties that Italy has with cricket as well, Genoa and AC Milan, the stories there where they started as cricket clubs almost originally before they became football clubs. Do you guys try to go back and harp on about that history as a selling point, or do you guys try and look into the now and developing the game that way? Because as you said at the start of the interview, there is a deep history with cricket. It's just been unfortunately lost a little bit along the way.
Exactly. It's the second time I get the same question this evening. But actually, for me, I think in terms of marketing, we are losing an opportunity if you're not talking about this. Of course, we have to find the right Berlusconi on the other side.
Do you have anyone who's close?
No, Genoa football has been supportive of Genoa cricket because the football club is still cricket and football club. So they have been financed by the football team, or they have been able to sell the shirts at the stadium and so on. But the point is, in Genova, it's very, very difficult to put a ground somewhere because Genova is basically a packed city. You have very, very few places where you could put a ground or even a small ground. Milan and Turin were the other two clubs. That's a different story. AC Milan, I think we missed the opportunity at the time when Berlusconi was there, because Berlusconi has a couple of other interests, of course.
There's a number of interests.
What time's this podcast going to air?
But he's a smart guy, and I think he loves sports in general. The current board, I don't think he has any interest in developing, let's say, a partnership even by name with cricket. Although I think that the area where they intend to build a new stadium could also offer some square meters for cricket as well. In Turin, at the moment, I don't see any possibility to do anything like that. But never say never. I will say, of course, what we have to explain here is much more the concept of gentleman's game, is what I said at the beginning. It's not just fair play, it's not just the spirit of the game, it's a package that has to be explained, starting with the kids and then explain that there's a heritage which we carry from centuries. And you can explain cricket in many different ways. You can explain cricket to mothers willing the kids to do some sport and say, okay, if your kid will play cricket, he will be better in English, because we basically speak only English on the ground. And then you might get some people telling, hey, statistics are born basically with cricket.
Sure love stats.
And that was because of betting, of course. Nobody says that. But, as I said before, numbers don't lie. People now look more into statistics because they've been looking at the fact that numbers don't lie for cricket first. And you have to market the product approaching with the right words for the specific market or audience you're talking about.
So just pulling on that thread, actually, that you talked about the history and the heritage of cricket. That deal with Credito Sportivo that you talked about, the public bank investing in sports in Italy, I saw on the announcement, it noted that cricket is the oldest team sport in Italy, and that heritage, going back to that. What does this deal actually do for cricket in Italy? You talked about being able to invest in facilities. Is that the core of the purpose there?
Yes. Facilities is the area where we are the biggest gap with countries like Denmark, Holland, which we feel are our competitors in terms of performance in Europe. Of course, I don't even count Jersey, because Jersey, Guernsey, they are very different. But if I even look at Spain, of course, they have been lucky because there have been British investors putting some money into Desert Springs and La Manga facility. I don't have the same possibility here. I have a couple of potential investors, of course. There's still a long way to go, but I'm trying to sell the concept of cricket being also a marketing tool for Italian tourism. And touring sites are very welcome here. Of course, I need better grounds. I cannot host 40 club, the MCC or the Crusaders or clubs like that on potato grounds anymore. And therefore I need to improve the quality quality of my outfields. I need to improve the number of turf pitches, which actually is one, not ready yet, and just prepared in Pianoro in Bologna. And we hope to be able to have maybe 5 in 3 years. But I think that's the biggest opportunity we have to market also with local authorities and to deal with them, is to say, hello, second biggest sport worldwide. I'm able to bring here tourists from any corner of the world, from rich countries, wealthy countries, and they might come even in January and play in Palermo, whereas Palermo in January you have more or less the same temperatures we have in London in late April, early May. You have the 18, 17 degrees maybe, even though it's winter. Officially, they are still nearer to Africa than to the Alps. So then it will be February, late February, March. We can offer Naples, Rome. Then later in the season, Bologna, Florence, Milan, Venice, Verona. I think everybody would love to play cricket nearby Venice or nearby Rome or nearby Florence and have some sightseeing, to do some just sightseeing, but some decent shopping. That's a part of package that golf offers, and that has been highly underestimated by other countries as well. And I think Italy, France, Germany, Spain, they all offer this possibility because we have a lot of stuff. And of course, I'm nothing against La Manga and the Springs, but the closer to towns, the better. Closer to an airport, to logistics, best possibilities, to decent hotels and so on, the more the feedback will be positive. I think that an ideal traveling side coming for 1 month from Australia to Italy and say, okay, we can be able to arrange them a complete tour, touring from Sicily to the Alps across the season and have fun, play decent cricket, and have the best possible food, the best possible wine. I think we should include that into the marketing package as well.
As someone who fell in love with cricket, with all the tea and the dinner and stuff that came with it as well, I think you've got the idea pretty much all bundled up into one package there. Just make sure everything's all put together. Very hospitable.
Of course, we don't offer pasta during the games.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Like, how can you play? Just have a big belly full of pasta and you just, yeah.
The night before, maybe.
I've seen people coming from the night before still well charged.
Well, PDP reckons one of the best meals he's ever had in cricket has been with the Italians. So there you go.
And Peter Della Penna, well, he'd normally be eating at Five Guys, wouldn't he? So it's interesting that he didn't eat burgers. So the Italians didn't allow him.
One of the things you've talked about a little bit is trying to get a women's team up and running. I know the women's team is not on the rankings yet.
No.
So obviously it's very much in a nascent stage. You know, what's the situation with women's cricket in Italy, and how are you trying to get that built up?
We need to look at athletes into schools and convince them to play cricket, because it's basically an easy sport, very simple, bat and ball. Because for countries like Italy, you can start a 10 years project like Thailand did recently and say, okay, I don't have anything to lose at the moment. And so if my money from ICC at the moment is also performance-based in terms of ICC tournaments, I don't get anything at the moment from international games for ladies, not yet. So I can plan my run for the next 10 years. And I think Italy has the big chance if you pick 10 to 15 good athletes now, and you merge with the passport holders, and you have a good mix. You need to rely first on fitness, and that creates also a lot of involvement. If you're able to create a story about that, will be rather interesting. But at the moment we have 6 clubs, and we are almost sure they will be 8 next years. In the past, we have had between 2013 and 2017 a very strong women's team. We've been competing with Denmark, Germany, and other countries around, and it wasn't an official European championship at the time, but we won that tournament a couple of times. Those girls are still around. We can only keep the positives. We have already put in place not just the specific commission, but also the right person for the job, who's taking care of the technical development around Italy. And we've also put some finance. We are giving kits for free to the clubs because, of course, and the cost is also an obstacle for them. Not just for the money, but also where you can purchase is not everywhere. You don't have cricket shops, and you don't always have somebody coming from Pakistan with a proper bat or a proper balls. And that's part of the job, of course. We invest money. We are going also to finance the travels and so on in order to make them meet different clubs and not just play with the cluster locally. But of course, we tend to invest more in games than travels, for sure. That's only the smallest part of the job. We need to plan further investments there. And we expressly asked to dedicate part of the money we receive from the Italian Olympic Committee for the purpose.
That's the end of part 1 with Fabio. We'll have part 2 next week. Make sure to subscribe to the Emerging Cricket Podcast if you haven't done so already, so you can tune in as soon as it drops every week. Pass the pod around and make sure to give us a 5-star review. If you want to support us financially, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/emergingcricket, where you can support us from as little as $2 US a month. You'll get access to extended versions of a number of our podcasts, and you'll also have a say on the show's direction. For now, on behalf of Nick Skinner, Tim Cutler, and myself, Daniel Beswick, see you next week.